midnight haze, chasing shadows in the darkest maze. Footsteps echo in the empty hall, mysteries waiting on our call. Bigfoot stomping through the pines, aliens sending secret signs. EVPs in the dead of night, ghosts dancing in the pale moonlight. Paranormal for what we bring it to you. Truth behind the veil, gotta pursue you.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody.
Welcome.
How you doing?
We've got a great show for
Great
everybody
show.
tonight. We're going to talk about some predictions and some prophecies.
Ancient prophecies you won't believe.
You can't believe them.
Yeah.
You're going to go to bed shaking in your sheets.
Woo.
We've had a couple cups of coffee tonight.
Yeah,
Like my mug.
we're drinking coffee and we're fired up.
Row!
We're going to be talking about a lot of things.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a little bit about Bible prophecy, a little bit about the Hopi prophecies, some Nostradamus.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of Maya. Yep.
You want me to start her off?
Yes.
All right. From ancient scriptures to modern conspiracy theories, humanity has long been captivated by prophecies, visions of the future that promise revelation, warning, or maybe redemption. At its core, prophecy transcends mere prediction. It is a profound intersection of spirituality, morality, and the human desire to grasp the unknown. Across cultures and eras, prophets and seers have emerged as bridges between the divine and the mortal, offering guidance through symbolic visions, ethical imperatives, or dire omens. So this show, we're going to explore 5 distinct prophetic traditions, the apocalyptic visions of the Bible, the ecological wisdom of the Hopi, the cryptic quatrains of Nostradamus.
Everybody knows Nostradamus.
Oh, yeah. And the cyclical cosmology of the Maya, and the
astrological
narratives of Islam. So while these traditions arise from vastly different worlds spanning deserts, forests, and medieval Europe, they share universal themes, humanity's fraught relationships with the power of nature, the tensions between destruction and renewal, and the enduring quest for meaning in the face of uncertainty. So we're going to examine these prophecies, and we'll try to uncover not only how societies have imagined their futures, but also how these visions reflect timeless fears, hopes, and values. Whether framed as divine revelation, ancestral warnings, or poetic mysteries, prophecies ultimately serve as mirrors revealing deeper truths about the cultures who crafted them and the shared human condition that binds us all.
That was good, Jason.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job on this research.
So you had some stuff pulled up too, didn't you?
I did. I got 3 prophecies that have not yet been, or 3 types of prophecies. It's not yet been,
fulfilled.
Was
any of them biblical?
Yes.
So I'll go through this one and then you'll tell the biblical one.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
So, rooted in sacred texts of Judaism and Christianity, biblical prophecies have shaped Western thought, ethics, and eschatology for millennia. that word, Christology. Central to those traditions are the apocalyptic visions of Daniel and Revelation. They depict divine intervention in human history, the rise and fall of empires, and the ultimate reckoning between good and evil. Now, the book of Daniel, with its cryptic dreams of statues and beasts, frames earthly power as transient, foretelling a messianic son of man who would establish an everlasting kingdom. Centuries later, the book of Revelation amplifies this imagery with its vivid allegories, the four horsemen, the mark of the beast, and the final battle of Armageddon. Now, this symbolizing cosmic justice and the triumph of God's kingdom. Interpretations of these texts are very, very widely. Some of them view as coded critics of ancient Rome. Historicists tie them to events across history. Futurists see them as unfulfilled blueprints for the end times. Now, this divergence has fueled theological movements from medieval mysticism to modern premillennial dispensationalism. Why would I put a word like that in here?
Dispensationalism.
Yes, which popularized ideas like the rapture and influenced political ideologies such as Christian Zionism. Now, beyond theology, biblical prophecies permeate art, literature, and the media, from Renaissance paintings of the Last Judgment to best-selling novels like Left Behind. Now, their power lies in their moral urgency. They warn of hubris, adultery, and ecological neglect, while offering hope for redemption as we examine these ancient visions and confront timeless questions. Do they reveal divine truth, reflect human anxieties, or both? How do their stark warnings about greed, war, and environmental decay resonate in an age of global crisis? What do you think about that?
Yeah. So you were talking about biblical prophecies, particularly those found in Old Testament prophets like Isaiah and Jeremiah, and in the New Testament, the book of Revelation.
Yep.
It describes future events ranging from the coming Messiah figure to the apocalyptic end of time. So these prophecies have been interpreted and reinterpreted throughout history, when different religious groups and individuals offering varying perspectives. Many believers consider these prophecies to be the pending fulfillment, awaiting the unfolding of divine plans and the ultimate realization of God's kingdom on earth. The interpretations of these prophecies, stemming from different theological perspectives and culture context, contribute to their ongoing relevance and the sense of anticipation around the world. So the book of Revelation in particular is a source of intense debate and speculation. Its language and apocalyptic imagery have been interpreted in numerous ways, from literal depictions of the future events to the representations of spiritual struggles. The ongoing discussions surrounding the meaning of Revelations highlight the complexity of biblical prophecy and the challenges of interpreting ancient text in a contemporary context. But, you know, you got a lot of different denominations and religious movements. They hold different views on the timing and nature of the end of the world, or the rapture. And that leads to a wide range of interpretations This diversity of perspectives ensures that biblical prophecies will continue to be a subject of discussion and debate.
Yep.
So some of the biblical prophecies in Revelation, you have the 4 horsemen, which represent what?
The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah, that represents, I know the pale, one of them is a pale horseman.
You asked me the wrong thing at the wrong time. I see. There we go. The white horse represents conquest.
Conquest.
So the gospel of the Holy Spirit, some interpretations identify the writer as Jesus himself. Now, the red horse represents war or conflict and strife. The black horse represents famine and pestilence. The rider is a food merchant who carries scales. And the pale horse represents death, pestilence. This rider is accompanied by Hades.
So you go all through Revelations, you get all these horrible things that's going to happen, that they say is going to happen. They claim it's the prophecy.
Right. Well, you know, and you get a lot of things when it comes to Revelations too, that it's a lot like reading Nostradamus. And we'll be talking about him here in a little bit too.
Yeah.
But his quatrains are very wide ranging. You could almost put them on anything.
Yeah.
And I think on a lot of these things, you know, where you talk about the 7-headed beast, the dragon, and all these other different things, and all these things that pop up in Revelations can be placed almost anywhere.
Yeah.
Even though most historians and stuff think that they were talking about first century Romans, the way that they were, you know, keeping them down and stuff like that. But apologists don't say that. They say that it's something yet to come. You know,
Right.
It's talking about something that's not here yet. And it comes back down to interpretation.
Yeah.
You know,
Talking about the biblical prophecy, I know there was one that everybody knows. It's about the foretelling of a Messiah who would bring salvation to establish a kingdom on earth of peace. So Christians believe that Jesus Christ fulfilled these prophecies when he came into the picture.
Right, but Jewish people don't.
Right. Jewish and Christian traditions are kind of different.
Right. Even though the Christians say that they get their traditions from the Jewish people, there's a lot of things that are not the same.
Yeah, the Christians think that Jesus was the Messiah that,
Foretold.
And the Jews are still waiting for the Messiah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's ongoing debate surrounding the identity and role of the Messiah. Let's see, the prophecies concerning the end times. They often include descriptions of natural disasters.
Well, pestilence and war. Right?
War and other cataclysmic events. Yeah. These prophecies have been interpreted in light of various historical events, from the rise and fall of empires to contemporary conflicts and environmental challenges. So the biblical prophecy, there's a lot still that hasn't came to pass.
According to the apologists, yes.
Yes.
Yep. According to the Christians or the apologists, then yes, they say that the end times are coming, and go get saved, otherwise you're going to hell.
Yeah. Ultimately, the appeal of the big biblical prophecies lies in their ability to offer hope and guidance in a world full of uncertainty.
Right.
The belief that God has a plan for the future provides a sense of purpose and direction for people, even in the face of challenges. The ongoing interpretations and reinterpretations of these prophecies ensure that they remain relevant for each new generation. So we still seek, we're still looking for all this to happen.
Right. Yeah. I mean, again, when you start talking about, John Patmos that wrote Revelations and all that stuff, you're talking about from the Christian perspective, something that has yet to come and is going to come, with the Antichrist and everybody rising up against Judaism, which is really weird, isn't it? It's a Christian book about Christians, but it all revolves around Jews.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's different for me. It's a different read.
Let's just go over a few more that don't deal with the Bible, that deal with like culture.
Right.
So there was a prediction of disease by ancient thinkers. The prediction of ancient thinkers, including those in India and later Roman scholars, proposed that diseases were caused by unseen, minute entities.
Well, they were almost right.
Yeah. in ancient India, concepts of krimi, which are tiny creatures causing disease, existed. Later, the Roman writer Marcus Terentius Varro, in his Rerum
on agriculture,
on agriculture, warned of minute creatures in swamps that could cause disease.
They're called what?
Those little things that swim up your urethra.
Nope.
What are they?
The most deadly animal on earth.
I don't know.
We have them here. They fly on you. They suck your blood.
Leeches.
Nope. They suck your blood.
Ticks.
They fly.
A fly?
They fly, but they suck your blood.
Mosquitoes. Okay.
Yes.
So these ideas predated the discovery of microorganisms.
Right.
By centuries, showing they had remarkable insight.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, you have to go, boy, there's something that's caused me to get sick.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some who thinks that there were demons and all kinds of other stuff too. So, but yeah, we could get into a long rabbit hole with that one.
Have you ever heard of the Sibylline oracles?
The oracles?
Yeah.
I know the oracles of Delphi. I don't know if I've heard of the others.
Well, it's a collection of prophetic verses contain warnings of the Roman Empire's eventual decline and fall. So these oracles were consulted by Roman leaders for centuries. They contain vague but suggestive pronouncements about the empire's future. The eventual collapse of the Western Roman Empire in the 5th century AD led some to believe these oracles had been accurate.
On a long enough timeline, it's easy because all that rise will fall.
Oh, yeah.
In a long enough timeline.
Yeah.
Nothing stands forever.
Well, I don't know when these oracles were written down, but
right.
5th century is a pretty good bit.
Long ways away. Yeah. It's like, 4,000 AD or so.
So that's about all I got. I got one more. The eclipse of Thales. So this was 585 BC. So the prediction was that Thales of Miletus, which a Greek philosopher is credited with predicting a solar eclipse that occurred in 585 BC. I think we've had predictions of eclipses in this day and age that,
Well, I mean, we can tell when eclipses are going to happen now, but way back when they weren't so,
yeah.
um, even though that if you know the mathematics behind it, you could tell when they're going to happen. But same thing happened in Cherokee legend too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the eclipse occurred during a battle between the Lydians and the Medes. It's said to have caused both sides to cease fighting, which led to a peace treaty. And, this prediction is significant. This prediction is significant as an early example of scientific prediction, like he was talking about,
Right.
demonstrating the power of astronomical observations.
Yep. Because you know when they're going to happen because it's there. It's in math.
Yeah. They were smart. You would think that they wouldn't be as smart as that, being that old of a civilization.
But just think about this: if generations before you, say you were in the clergy or whatever it was, right? Hello, everybody. If you were in the clergy or whatever it was at that time, and for generations above before you, you had people going on this day, this happened, this day, this happened, this day, this happened. There'd be a time where you could start putting those together and saying, ooh, it's about every so whatever that we have these things happening. And you could start, after a while, you could start predicting them.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to have a long history of that.
You'd need generations.
Yeah. So luckily, they must have wrote it down.
Yeah, they did, because what else did they have to do at nighttime?
Look up.
Look up at the stars, right?
Yeah.
See what those things were. Wonder how they moved across the sky.
Yeah. I still don't understand how the Sumerians knew about all the planets and stuff.
That is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I think
because
I think
that's a miracle.
We'll definitely have to do a long talk on that sometime.
Yeah.
Because I think that, look, we can see Venus, we can see Mars. There's certain things we can see with the naked eye. But there's planets out there that we can't see with our naked eye. How did they see those things? You know, that's the thing that's interesting for sure. How can you see Pluto?
Yeah.
I mean, ain't much bigger than our moon.
No. Then they talked about the other planet that had a elliptical orbit.
Yep.
How did they know
Nibiru.
that? And there's a planet out there that does. They proved it.
Yeah, they could tell with gravity on how things are moving in the Kuiper belt and everything, that there's definitely something big out there for sure. So that's a fact.
David's going to talk about one that I like. I always like this.
The Hopi prophecies.
The Hopis.
Yeah. The Hopi prophecies are pretty neat. And there's actually some Hopi prophecy rock too. So you actually have a picture, don't you?
I do. You want me to show it?
We can, sure.
So David's going to talk about this picture.
Well, this is just a way that a lot of the Native Americans saw where they lived, right? It was a great turtle. And if you look at it, the way that North America is, it really does look like a great turtle. It looks like a giant turtle. So, I just want you to see that while we're talking about we're talking about the Hopi and stuff. But the Hopi had a lot of ancient wisdom. They were an American native tribe rooted in the arid landscapes of the American Southwest. Now, their prophecies do offer a profound vision of balance, renewal, and humanity's sacred relationship with the earth. Now, unlike the linear and apocalyptic narratives of the Abrahamic traditions, Hopi cosmology revolves around more of like a cylindrical type time, cyclical, really, where eras rise and fall based on humanity's adherence to spiritual and ecological harmony. Now, central to their oral traditions are the 9 signs. Now, these are a series of warnings which mark humanity's deviation from the Creator's path, which includes environmental degradation, greed, and the erosion of community. It's funny because all those things are happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, among the most iconic prophecies is the arrival of the blue star Kachina, which is a celestial harbinger signaling the end of the current world cycle and the onset of the Great Purification, which is a transformative period of upheaval, which is meant to cleanse the earth and restore balance. Now, the Hopi critique materialism and industrialization. They envision a future where rivers turn bitter and skies darken with pollution. Strikingly, pretty good metaphors for kind of our modern climate, the way our climate is and stuff today. Now, their teachings emphasize simplicity, humanity, and reverence for nature. This is encapsulated by the concept of life out of balance. I won't even try to say it in their language because there's no way. Which is a warning against exploiting the earth for short-term gain. Now, it's often overshadowed by sensationalized doomsday interpretations. Hopi prophecies ultimately carry a message of hope. They call for not for fear, but for collective responsibility. They urge humanity to realign with natural laws and spiritual truths. So, as ecological collapse and societal fragmentation escalate, their ancient warnings resonate with urgent relevance, inviting reflection on how indigenous wisdom might guide us towards a more subtle, interconnected future.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. Some of their predictions were pretty crazy though, because let's see. Hopi predictions, right?
Yeah. I know there was one they predicted with the railroad coming through.
Right, and that's on the wall.
Yeah.
So they call this the fourth world. So this is the fourth time that we've been destroyed 3 times before. This is the fourth time that we've been reborn. It says that we will have more erratic weather, including earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, wildfires, droughts, and famines. They say that a container of ashes will be thrown from the sky, burning the land and boiling the oceans. That sounds like a comet or something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Cobwebs will spin back and forth in the sky near the day of purification. Think about that for a second. Cobwebs going across the sky in a day of purification.
That sounds like chemtrails to me.
Or what about nuclear weapons going across the sky and leaving their contrails?
Yeah.
Which could look like that same very thing, right?
Yeah, that's sign 5, and it says the land will be crisscrossed by a giant spider web. No, that's not the one. That's the one in the sky. This is the one on the ground.
Right.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, the one with the giant spider web on the ground they were talking about the widespread use of electricity and telephone lines.
Yep.
Communication.
Okay. I could see that. I could definitely see telecommunications as something. But for me, when you think of purification, usually purification is followed by one other thing, right? Purified by fire, not purified by telecommunication lines, but fire. I mean,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be, say, nuclear weapons. I'm sure it can be other things, but an end to the fourth age is what they're talking about.
Yeah. We've not went into the fifth, right?
Nope. We are living in the fourth age. Yeah.
So let me just read some of the signs that they have 9 signs.
Yep.
Sign 1 is the coming of white-skinned men who take the land that is not theirs, strike their enemies with thunder.
Guns.
Yeah. This has been interpreted as the arrival of the Europeans in the Americas. So that one's pretty much happened.
Yep.
Sign 2 would be the coming of spinning wheels filled with voices.
So records, maybe?
No. Well, it could be. I mean, we don't know, but a lot of people think it's the arrival of the pioneers in the covered wagons.
Okay.
Spinning, the wheels in the wagon.
Right.
Sign 3 would be a strange beast like a buffalo, but with great long horns.
Cows.
Which will overrun the land in large numbers.
Yep.
Becoming a cattle.
Yep.
Sign 4 would be the land will be crossed by snakes of iron.
Railroad.
Yep. Which sign 5 we already went over with spider web, which is said to be the widespread of electricity and telephone lines. Sign 6, the land will be crisscrossed with rivers of stone that make pictures in the sun. That's pretty wild.
Pictures in the sun.
So this is seen as a development of the highways and asphalt roads.
Okay.
Sign 7, you will hear of the sea turning back and many living things dying because of it. So this is interpreted as oil spills. Sign number 8, you will see many youth who wear their hair long like our people come and join the tribal nations to learn their ways and wisdom. So this refers to the counter-culture movement in the 60s and 70s.
Right. The hippies.
Yeah. Now, sign 9 is the final sign. It's the appearance of the blue star.
Yep.
Which signifies the beginning of a new world. The spirit will appear as a blue star in the heavens, marking the day of purification, a world engulfing cataclysm leading to the destruction of the current world and the birth of the new one.
Yep. That's the way it is every time.
So wasn't there a biblical revelation prophecy about a blue star called wormwood? Was it wormwood?
I think that's what it was called.
I think it was blue. I'm not sure, but as I recall,
Let's see. Let's look it up.
If it is, that's that coincides with the Hopi. So many interpret these prophecies as a call for spiritual awakening and a reconnection with ancient wisdom. This aligns with a growing global interest in spirituality and holistic living, indicating a potential shift toward a more harmonious way of life.
So Revelations 8:11 says a star named Wormwood falls from heaven and poisons the water, killing many. Deuteronomy 29:18 says wormwood is used to describe the distress and trouble that results from sin. Jeremiah 9:15, 23:15, Lamentations 3:15 and 3:19 say wormwood symbolizes bitter calamity and sorrow.
It's going to be, world ending.
Mm-hmm.
So, that kind of goes along with the Hopi, sort of, I think.
Yep.
Roger says Pio lets you see the future.
Peyote.
Yeah, peyote.
Yeah, buddy.
You ever had any peyote?
I never have, no.
Hmm.
No peyote for me. I've had some other things, though. I have partaken.
Wormwood is a herb used in the alcoholic drinks. And we're talking about a star.
Yep.
Not a herb.
It is an herb too, though.
We know you like herbs and spirits and stuff.
We're not drinking spirits.
Oh, we got some coffee going.
Coffee.
I'm about to jump out of my seat. What you got next?
Nostradamus. Yeah. Do we want to take a break? Or
If we can. You need to? Yeah, we can take a quick break.
2 cups of coffee. Break is needed.
Break is needed. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, David's going to talk about Nostradamus.
Yes, we'll talk about it. And don't you have some stuff too on some of his quatrains and stuff pulled up? Yeah, thought so. So we'll be back right after this quick break.
In the heart of Madisonville, Tennessee, lies a pizzeria like no other. Step through the door of Legends and Lore Pizzeria and be transported to a realm where paranormal and cryptid encounters along with mouth-watering pizza go hand in hand. Meet Eddie and his crew, who serve up slices of the supernatural along with the best pies in town. With the walls adorned with eerie artifacts, indulge in piping hot slices that melt in your mouth and tease your taste buds. And it's not just the locals who love the incredible pizza. Legends and Lore has been selected as the best pizza joint in all of Monroe County. As lovers of everything pizza and the paranormal, the owners have mastered the art of crafting unforgettable combinations that will leave you wanting more. To stay connected with this mystical eatery, follow Legends and Lore Pizzeria on Facebook, where tales of their latest creations and upcoming specials will be shared. Make sure to browse their custom menu, featuring legendary pizzas like the Chupacabra Ranch and the Exorcist. So, whether you have an appetite for the supernatural or simply seek the best pizza in town, Legends and Lore is the place to be. Come for the unforgettable flavors, stay for the captivating stories, and find yourself in a world where legends and pizza collide.
What if the world we know is merely a fraction of reality? What if there are forces, entities, and phenomena that exist just beyond our comprehension in the shadows of the unknown? Welcome to Paranormal 411, your gateway to the unexplained and the downright chilling.
Get ready to rock with the electrifying sound of Catalyst, a band that's sure to leave you wanting more. With their powerful lyrics and killer riffs, Catalyst is a great sound in the world of rock music. You can listen and find Catalyst on Bandcamp, or go to the link at paranormal411.org and click on their banner.
All
All
right.
right. We're back from that quick break.
We are back. I can go ahead and take that down.
Yes, you can. So we're going to be talking about Nostradamus.
Nostradamus.
So the prophecies of Michel de Nostradam, a 16th century French apothecary and self-styled seer, better known as Nostradamus, have captivated audience for centuries with their cryptic poetic quatrains. Now, published in his 1555 work, Les Prophéties, these nearly 1,000 four-line verses blend astrological symbolism, biblical allusions, and veiled references to historical and future events. Now, written in a deliberately ambiguous style that invites endless interpretation, Nostradamus's fame rests on claims that he predicted pivotal moments like the rise of Hitler or Hister, the Great Fire of London, the moon landing, and even 9/11 attacks. Though scholars widely attribute each connection to retroactive pattern matching and creative translation, like I said. His verses often composed under celestial alignments that he believed unlocked prophetic insight. Excuse me. They thrive on vagueness. So phrases like the Great War will begin in France or fire will fall from the sky could apply to countless events. Now, critics argue that his work reflects Renaissance anxieties, plague, religious conflict, political upheaval, rather than a genuine foresight. Yet Nostradamus endures in popular imagination. His name is synonymous with prophecy itself. Fueled by media and sensationalism. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, a lot of people think that he was had some extraterrestrial influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like
Ancient aliens, ancient astronaut aliens say yes.
just
Theorists say yes.
just like Nikolai
Tesla.
Tesla
Well, Tesla says he got his
from visions and dreams, and
from dreams. And also you have, say, dang it, I can't think of his name right now. But he had his thought experiments.
yeah.
So you know, they believe. But Tesla said that he could go in when he would dream of these mechanical things and literally take it apart bolt by bolt and take it all apart, put it back together in his dream, and then when he'd wake up, he could put it down on paper.
It's crazy.
That is insane.
It's aliens.
Yes. Ancient astronaut aliens say yes. Theorists say yes. Now, Nostradamus endures in popular imagination. His name is synonymous with prophecy itself, fueled by media sensationalism and a human tendency to seek meaning in chaos. Now, his legacy raises provocative questions. Are his quatrains masterpieces of intuitive insight, or are they clever wordplay? Maybe mere coincidence? Now, why does his brand of cryptic ambiguity,
Ambiguity.
Thank you, Jason. I'm so up on this coffee, I can't even talk. So easily molded to fit any crisis. Why do these continue to fascinate in an age of science? Now, ultimately, Nostradamus's enduring allure lies less in his predictions than in our timeless desire to believe that the future, however uncertain, can be decoded.
With the help of ancient aliens.
Ancient astronaut alien theorists say yes.
Oh, yeah. So, have a few predictions from Nostradamus.
Yes, which I mentioned a few of them, and Jason's going to go into more detail.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with the 9/11 prophecy since it's so, popular.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to read it in his language.
Yeah, it wouldn't do no
This
good.
is interpreted, and,
This is quatrain 10 through 72.
yes. So it says, in the year 1999, in the 7th month, from the sky will come the great king of terror, bringing back to life the great king of the Mongols, before and after, Mars to reign by good fortune. So the arrival of 1999 July was a highly anticipated event by everyone familiar with the prophecies of Nostradamus. Would it be the arrival Nostradamus' so-called Antichrist? Would a huge global war occur, or what? All these questions, we ask ourselves. So in the year 1999, in the 7th month, suggesting July, although the French word for September might suggest the abbreviation for the English word September, from the sky suggests as an aerial event, perhaps through the means of an airplane, missile or something, it will come the great, as in powerful, the king of terror, suggesting an unnamed leader of a nation who possesses a powerful military, probably a foe of Europe and the West, bringing back to life, rebirthing, the king of the Mongols. So Genghis Khan was the Mongolian king who conquered Asia in the 13th century. Thus, a military leader seems to be suggested by this phrase. Before and after some accident or military event in July 1st or July of 1999, Mars, the symbolic planet of war in astrology, to reign by good fortune. So war appears to reign fortunate for an unnamed nation or group of nations before and after July of 1999. So the tragic events of 9/11 were foreshadowed here. Presently, we use the Gregorian calendar, but during Nostradamus' lifetime, they used the Julian calendar. And the 7th month of the Julian calendar is September. The date 1999 provides a time clue of an event around the millennial. However, the real clue is the date 1999 is nothing more than a numeric anagram. If they reverse the order of the ones and nines, we arrive at the date 9/11/1. So
again,
it's obvious that Osama bin Laden is the great king of terror who comes from the sky. Regarding the great king, if the Mongols, Kabul was the capital of the Mongol Empire during Nostradamus' lifetime, it appears that we have an additional symbolic reference to bin Laden here. In summation, this quatrain provides an astonishing preview of 9/11. What do you think?
I don't know. I think it's all up for interpretation.
Yeah. It's 1999. What? 1999. That wasn't when it happened, though, right?
Nope.
It's 2001.
Yep. 9/11/1. That's why they said
Okay,
flip it
yeah.
the other way, and it's 9/11/1.
After the millennial.
Yep.
So that would be 2001.
Yep.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, but there it goes again with the, with the interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like that one. Well, either one of those.
Which one you want to do next?
It don't matter. Hitler
Let's-
in World War II. Moon landing is a good one.
Let's
Yeah.
do moon landing.
Let's do it. Are you going to read this
So-
in French?
Yeah, I'm getting this information from the Nostradamus Society of America.
Yes.
So
This
I want to
is-
quote that. This is their thing. So the moon landing and space accidents, quatrain 9 through 85. It says, he will come to travel to the corner of Luna, where he will be captured and put in a strange land. The unripe fruits to be subject of great scandal, great blame, to one great praise. I don't know about that one.
I know on the one where it says he will come to, Luna. Luna is the moon. So
Yeah. He, which I think referring to mankind and the North American astronauts, will come to travel to the corner of Luna, the moon.
Yep.
Where he will be captured on film. Oh. And put into a strange land, outer space, and or the moon. The unripe fruits, which are assets which take time to develop before reaching maturity, which is a reference to the space race.
Okay.
To be subjects of great scandal, which they say refers to as the Apollo 1 tragedy, the Challenger disaster, and other space-related accidents. Great blame to unnamed parties, to one great praise, a reference to the United States of America.
Hmm.
So
That one's, I don't know.
you can get a lot of stuff.
It's all in
It's
interpretation.
deep. It's
It
deep.
is. Yeah, because you've got to interpret it and then believe that it's something. Because what's the thing is that there's some pretty smart people out there that after people were like, oh my gosh, look, 9/11's in here. It's in here. Then all of a sudden they're like, okay, well then why didn't you tell us? You should be held responsible for not telling us if you knew it was there, but it had to happen before you could tell us it was there.
Yeah.
Then why are you not responsible for not letting us know? Because it has to happen before you can put it to it.
Yeah. You're right. Now,
It's
if
not
they-
like you could read these and go,
oh, it's
hey,
gonna be-
this is going to happen at this time on this date.
yeah, it has to happen
Yeah.
before you can interpret it,
Yeah.
or before you can be influenced by that event.
Yep.
Of the interpretation.
Yes.
I understand. So Hitler and World War II, quatrain 2 through 24 suggests that it says, beast ferocious with hunger will swim across the rivers. Greater part of the army will be against Hister. The great one will cause him to be dragged in a cage of iron when the German infant observes no law. He did mention Germany.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
Hister, which
Oh.
is Hitler.
Well, it's also a river down there.
Oh, is
too.
it?
Yes. The Hister River.
Hmm.
Yes.
So
a lot of
let's-
people don't know that.
Yeah. Let's start out with
And I think he was born supposedly near the Hister River.
Hmm.
Hitler was. if I'm not mistaken.
Oh no. So let's just say, start out with the beast ferocious with hunger.
Mm-hmm.
They suggest that Adolf Hitler in the German army is this beast. It says he will swim across rivers and borders. The greater part of the army suggests the French and Allied armies will be against Hister, which a clever allusion to Adolf Hitler. Nostradamus misspelled Hitler, his name, by one letter, This is one of the remarkable name choices which most people agree is far beyond just coincidence. Perhaps he was teasing us. That's not good. So the Great One suggesting the Allies will cause him, Hitler, to be dragged in a cage of iron when the German infant, which Hitler and Nazism observes no law. It makes little sense.
It does. That's one that I can say, is a very decent one.
Roger says Adolf Hitler was born on April 20th, 1889 in Braunau am Inn, a town in Austria-Hungary.
Okay.
That's some good knowledge.
Thank you, Roger.
Yes. We'll do one more on Nostradamus. I think we'll do JFK.
Oh, there we go. Hey, now that they're releasing some files.
Yeah,
right.
let's see what this says. This is from Nostradamus Society of America. And you can look these up at NostradamusUSA.com. So, President Kennedy, LBJ, and the Cuban Missile Crisis. This is from Quatrain 4 through 14. It says, the sudden death of the first personage will have caused change and put another into sovereignty. Soon but late come to so high a position of young age, such as by land and sea it will be necessary to fear him. So, the sudden death, which suggests an assassination of the first personage, which would be a leader of a nation, possibly suggesting John F. Kennedy, will have caused change, suggesting the social changes which occurred after the death of Kennedy, and put another which suggests Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson into, office.
Yep.
Soon but late come to, soon too late to come to a high position, which is the American presidency. Of young age, John F. Kennedy became president at 44. Was he the youngest?
I think so.
Such by land and sea, it will be necessary to fear him. This last line appears to be a general reference to the Cuban Missile Crisis of October 1962. The Soviets and the Cubans feared President Kennedy and his show of power, which successfully forced Soviet President Khrushchev throughout an agreement to remove the Soviet nuclear missiles from their launch site.
Yep. The Cuban Missile Crisis was a crazy one.
Yes. That I could see that in that writing, but like you said again, it has to happen before you can see it.
Yeah. You can't read them all because there's societies. You just read from their thing, right? There's societies that are nothing but all about all of his writings. Yeah. Just like Edgar Cayce.
Yeah.
Edgar Cayce has people that's what they do. They dedicate themselves to all of his writings. But none of them can say this is definitely going to happen at this time. On this day. Beware. Right. It doesn't happen.
There's another good one that you're going to talk about.
Yes. And then you're going to pull up.
Yeah. Some
the actual bunch of actual prophecies.
Yes, sir.
La, 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 la.
Now, we went real big on this one year, our first year, in fact, of podcasting.
We did. Yeah. In 2012, December of 2012, as a matter of fact, we did a 2 or 3 hour show on this, did we not?
Yeah, we were waiting for that 2012.
We had tons of people like,
yeah,
all day at work. What were they asking us?
We were fear mongering them.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Yeah. At the end of it, we said the same thing that you're about to hear here. So, it's not that it was about the end of anything,
Right.
as far as the world, anyway. It was the end of a year or a cycle. So, we're going to be talking about the Mayans. Now, steeped in the intricate cosmology of the ancient Maya, their prophecies kind of told a story of astronomy, spirituality, and a profound understanding of cyclical time. Now, very central to their beliefs is the long count calendar, which was a vast temporal framework that tracks epochs or suns, each culminating in transformation rather than annihilation. Now, the much misinterpreted 2012, which was marking the end of a 5,125-year cycle, was sensationalized as a prediction of global apocalypse. I remember it.
Yep.
Yet Mayan elders and scholars clarify it signified a transition or a period of collective awakening and realignment with cosmic order. Now, embedded in glyphs like the Tortuguero monument, these prophecies emphasized that humanity's duty to maintain harmony between the physical and spiritual worlds, warning that greed, environmental exploitation, the neglect of ancestral wisdom would invite chaos. Now, the Maya revered corn not just as a substance, but as a sacred symbol of life's interdependence, and their teachings stressed balance through rituals, astronomy, and reverence for nature. Unlike linear apocalyptic narratives, Mayan cosmology envisions cycles of destruction and renewal, where human actions influence cosmic outcomes. Today, their prophecies resonate in debates about climate change and cultural perversion, challenging modern societies to confront unsustainable practices, the 2012 phenomena, and reclaiming indigenous perspectives. Now, the Maya remind us that prophecy is not about fatalism, but accountability. It is a call to honor Earth's rhythms and restore our fractured relationship with the cosmos. I will say yes to that. And I'm not a tree hugger by any means, but I think that we've strayed far from Gaia, from Mother Earth. And we just don't realize it as humans, but we are longing for that relationship back, just like she's longing for that relationship with us back. And there's people in this world who still revere, this planet and what she does for us and stuff, but not like, we did thousands of years ago.
Right.
Before, a lot of religions took that from us, I will say.
So we'll start off with the most famous prophecy. And all these were derived from the calendar, right?
Yes.
That they had. They
had
used the calendar
they had 3 calendars
to make the prophecy.
Yeah, you had a short-term calendar, which was only 20 years, which was about the lifespan of a person. Then you had another calendar that went, I'm trying to remember exactly how many years. I'm going to mess this up. But they interlocked with each other. And then you had the Mayan long count calendar. And so with the turning of this one, it turned this one. They were almost like cogs in a machine. And so this one turned as this one would turn as this one would turn.
That's pretty wild.
They believe that about every 20 years or so, things became cyclical and they would come back. That's how they were able to predict pretty much when the downfall of their own society. When the Spaniards came in.
Yeah. So the first prediction would be the prediction of December 22nd, 2012. The sun will receive a synchronized beam from the center of the galaxy with which a new cycle will begin. It will be the end of the world of materialism and destruction in which we live, and the beginning of a new stage of respect and harmony. Before this day, the humanity will have to choose between disappearing as a thinking species that commits an outrage against the planet, or evolving about a new age of integration with the rest of the universe. So me and you had it wrong. We thought the doom and gloom.
Well, at the end of it, you remember we said that nothing was going to happen.
Yeah. So that was the 2012 prophecy. So there was another prediction. It was announced that from the eclipse of August 11th, 1999, the physical transformations in the sun would alter the behavior of men. They said that some of them would lose the control of his emotions, and others would strengthen his interior peace to be synchronized with the rhythms of the galaxy.
See how they thought, though? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. And this way they will be able to neutralize each other, the drastic changes that describe the predictions. So we have prediction number 3. Logic of the man will increase the temperature of the earth and will produce climatic and geographical or geological imbalances. The absence of synchrony between our behavior and the nature will bring big problems, as the evaporation of the water of the soils, the forest fires, and the destruction of crops. So I think that's pretty much today.
It's funny that it's talking about a future event from then till now.
Yeah.
You could definitely place that on today.
They had another prediction. They predicted a heat wave that will provoke the melting of the ice poles, which they're melting. According to the Mayans, this will be a way in which the planet will be cleaned and grown green again. But simultaneously, the coast will be flooded, and thousands of persons who live next to the sea will face serious dangers.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
But that's cyclical.
Yeah.
We know for a fact in the Greenland ice cores that you have a 10,000 or so year of deglaciation, and then about 100 to 150,000 years of ice age.
Right.
And that's cyclical. You can see it in the ice cores.
Mm-hmm. But how did they know that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They didn't go to Greenland and go, hey,
Right.
this means this, right?
So according to the 5th prediction, if we don't synchronize our behavior with the rhythms and the nature of the galaxy before 2012, we will see trumping all the systems on which our civilization is based. There will take place a collapse of the computer network, the electricity, the economic system, and the religion. From these facts, man will see the need to reorganize the society of a most harmonic and less competitive way. And if so, that we add the increase in the activity of the sun, which can cause irreparable damages in the satellites.
Hmm.
The situation is complicated with the solar flares. There is received an unusual ultraviolet dose of beams that they expand to the top ambience of the ground, diminishing the pressure that exists on these satellites that are in low orbit. This is
It's
an
an awful lot.
interpretation.
I was going to say, yeah, this is like,
This
ooh.
is interpretations of the tablets.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
of course, I can't read the tablets.
Come on now, Jason. We got to send you to school for that. He's
So
like,
this makes them lower its orbit to the much more rapid one, getting lost temporary contact with them, ideally, and interrupting all the communications of the planet in the worst case scenario.
Hmm.
Also, it can happen that 19,000 objects that they are in orbit of the ground and on having received a high dose of electromagnetism of the sun will get damaged and stop working forever. So it's predicting that, the sun's going to cause all of our electronics to foul out.
it's happened once before. 1800s, we got a really nice jolt from the sun. And luckily there wasn't a lot, but there were telegraph lines that burnt to the ground.
Yep.
So we can get a nice EMP from the sun.
Boom.
So
So
bugs.
prediction number 6, they predicted an appearance of a comet that will bring a very sudden physical transformation in our planet. The Mayan makes sure that there exist high probabilities of which the comet collides with the Earth. But simultaneously, they support that it's possible to turn its trajectory away using physical or psychic sources.
Well, you know that NASA and stuff are, trying to find ways of pushing one away and things like that. If they could catch one in time, that's the thing, is if you could catch it.
Yeah.
They can't see everything that enters this atmosphere. And they don't see it way before it gets here usually. Because if it's under a certain size, it's almost impossible to see, especially at the speeds that they're traveling,
Yeah, I'll look for something like that to happen. Probably not in our lifetime, but eventually.
Are you a fan of Graham Hancock?
I've listened to him a little bit.
And the comet theory.
I've never listened to him that close. No.
So I think that what he's saying is very probably true. And there's scientific data that can back it up. But what we see now is the meteor showers that happen twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's us going through a comet, right? Well, this comet 12,500 years ago or whatever broke up, and we can see it. They've got most of it mapped, where it is and everything, and in the orbit. Twice a year we go through its orbit of this comet. Okay. Well, there were pieces, huge pieces, that came down to Earth. One struck the North American ice caps, one struck the European ice caps. And that's what melted the ice, possibly caused the floods. Mm-hmm. That every culture across the world talks about, right?
Yeah. It's
not just a Christian or Judaism thing. I mean, Native Americans have flood mythologies. I think it's all comes from this thing that happens. But they said that there's still pieces in there. And they've got the names of some of them. I forgot what they were, but that are as big or bigger than the ones that hit and did that that we still pass by twice a year.
Hmm.
And so they said it's not if, it's just when we come in. We're playing Russian roulette. It's when we get in, and that one of those things are in that orbit, that it will come in. That's why they say that a lot of the Native American stuff here, you have these serpents that come in from the sky, because they said that if you was to see these big, huge freaking comets coming in, you could see the
tail.
long tails of these things coming in.
Yeah.
And they called them the white serpents and different things like that. So, but yeah, it's interesting. Graham Hancock has got pretty good details.
I've got one more. The Mayan left us a message of hope. They said that from a voluntary effort to achieve the harmony of the interior peace, we will be able to develop new senses and integrate to the functioning of the galaxy. We need to get on that frequency. Right? Remember last week, the frequency of the universe?
Yes. What was that? 432?
432. Yeah. So this way we will be able to reduce the harmful effects announced by other predictions and to be reborn in a new age, which is the age of light.
Isn't that funny how age of light, age of enlightenment, it's pretty dang close, isn't it?
Yep. Pretty good.
Nobody's talking. Everybody's listening, but no one's talking.
They're listening, but they're watching TV or something.
That's it. Yeah, they're just.
It's okay.
So you'll look up this one while I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
And then we'll almost be over. This is the last one. How long have we got? Oh, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, 45 minutes left. So
we're doing pretty good. So, embedded with the teachings of the Quran and the Hadith, Islamic eschatology weaves a vivid narrative of divine justice, resurrection, and the unraveling of cosmic order as humanity approaches the day of judgment. I'm not even going to try to say it. Now, central to their traditions are the minor and major signs. Now, these are detailed in prophetic sayings, which outline a sentence of moral, environmental, and societal collapses proceeding in the end times. So, major signs such as a widespread corruption, the neglect of religious duties, and the commodification of knowledge. Which mirror contemporary anxieties about ethical decay and inequality. Now, these come together in the major signs, which are the emergence of the Antichrist, which is a deceptive tyrant who spins and spreads chaos everywhere, and the descendant of Isa, or Jesus, to dismantle falsehood and restore justice. And the rise of Mahdi. I'm sorry, but I'm killing this one. Which is a guided Mahdi.
Yeah, Mahdi.
A guided leader who unites the faithful in a final struggle against oppression. Now, the Sunni and Shia traditions diverge in emphasis. Sunni texts focus on the Mahdi as future figure, while the Shia theology venerates him as the hidden 12th Imam, whose return will herald an era of universal peace. Now, these prophecies are not mere fatalism, but a call to moral vigilance, which urges Muslims to uphold justice, charity, and stewardship of the earth. Now, in modern day contexts, they resonate in debates about technology. um, the beast of the earth, which is linked to communication systems. Climate crisis, geopolitical strife, often invoked to interpret conflicts in the Middle East. Ultimately, Islamic eschatology balances dread and hope, which frames the apocalypse as both a divine reckoning and a reminder that human agency, guided by faith, can illuminate the path towards redemption. Now, how might these ancient visions challenge or clarify our responses to today's existential threats? Jason?
So some of the Islamic prophecies, a lot of them has came to be. I'll start off with the prophecy of pagan defeat.
Wonder if that's when they took over the Holy Land.
So the Quran predicted the defeat of unbelievers in Mecca.
Yep.
While the Prophet Muhammad and his followers were still being persecuted by them. And it reads in the Quran 54:45, or do they, which stating the Meccan disbelievers, say, we are a great multitude and we shall be victorious. Their multitude will be defeated and they shall turn their backs. And that's, the prophecy was revealed in Mecca, but was fulfilled in the Battle of Badr 2 years after the prophet's migration to the city of Medina. So that's one.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Let's see. Trying to find another one. A massive affliction that no Arab home would escape. So after the assassination of the Caliph Uthman in 656 AD, chaos was widespread throughout the entirety of Arabia, and no Arab home was spared. This eventually led to war between Muawiyah, if that's how you pronounce it, and Ali, where much killing took place, and the afflictions continued for years. So all of these events not only fulfilled the prophecy described in the Hadith, but they were also in the exact order mentioned. That's pretty wild.
That's pretty amazing. Some of these are pretty long, aren't they?
Yeah. So the prophet said, the hour will not begin until time passes quickly. So a year will be like a month will be like a week will be like a day will be like an hour will be like the burning of a braid of palm leaves. So what is meant by time passing quickly is that the days will feel like they are passing quicker, which is pretty much happening to me. I feel like the older I get,
the older you get, that just happens. And I blink my eyes and another year's gone by.
And it says that people will do less beneficial deeds due to how fast time feels like it's going. Art Bell wrote a book, The Quickening.
Mm-hmm.
That's somewhat similar.
Yep. I've got it right over there on the bookshelf. Jason, didn't you buy that for me for Christmas a couple years back?
So I'm going to do one more.
Okay.
The disappearance of religious knowledge. So the prophet said that religious knowledge will be taken away by the death of religious scholars. After the death of scholars, people will take as their leaders ignorant persons who, when consulted, will give their verdict without knowledge. So they will go astray and will lead the people astray. And today, most of the scholars who stick to the text of the classic scholars are reaching the end of their lives. It's become common to look on the news and see that another one of these scholars has died due to health complications from old age. So that's pretty much time. Yeah.
Time gets everybody. You are born into this world, but you can't stay, you know? You can't live forever, unfortunately.
So as this is happening, though, the laymen are being led astray by people who claim to be scholars while ignoring and sometimes even attacking the classical scholars in their positions.
Right.
Through the deaths of the learned scholars and the rise of the ignorant, this prophecy is coming true right now.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, is that the more you have people that hold the knowledge, right? And I think we could all look into this. How many people have had people, grandparents or great grandparents, that they wish that they could have talked to about certain things? Now that you get older, you understand more about, what should I have talked to this person about? What should I have learned from this? What should I have sat down and actually learned from this person? This person knew all this awesome stuff. How much of this stuff is getting to be lost? Right? Proper canning techniques, growing techniques, right? Herbalism. All these things get lost little at a time because there's nobody. Most people, when you're young, and I'm going to say I'm part of this group by a long shot, I am, are not interested in what old people have to say. You're not.
Yeah.
But by the time you understand, by the time you're interested, they're no longer here. Right? By the time you wish that you could talk to that person again and understand what it was that they had to teach you, they're gone. And the information that you could have learned, that could have taught you so much, is gone with them. And a lot of times it's hard to find that information again. So that's true. You know, we don't have, like, hundreds of years ago, maybe not even then, right? Our great grandparents' time, even, probably.
Yeah.
If not, maybe great grandparents' time. But you had where you had to learn from these people. That's who you had. Right? You learned how to do A through Z because of the people who came before you. Your parents' parents, you know, your peers in wherever it was that you were, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are the things that you learned from. But in our modern age, we're in so much of a hurry to do everything else, we don't take time to learn from those who actually know.
Hey, on the Oscars. Yeah, similar to biblical.
Yes, very similar to biblical. Time is the fire we all burn. Star Trek Final Frontier. Yes. I love Star Trek. Another Trekkie. But that's the thing, though, is that we don't take the time to learn from these people.
Right.
Do you have somebody in your life you wish you would have learned from now?
Oh, yeah.
I do. I really do. I wish I would have spent more time with my grandmother and learned some of her secrets of brewing. And she was one heck of a lady that could brew and make really good wines. But at 80 something years old, she'd still go out and she could make a garden like nobody's business. She had a heck of a green thumb, you know. But to be able to talk to her and ask her these questions that now these things are I'm interested in doing, I don't have that wealth of knowledge anymore
Right.
because I let it go.
We have to resort to the internet and YouTube videos.
Yes. Other people's knowledge
Yeah.
that they learn from wherever. But I had it right there. You know, if I'd have took the time to ask,
Mm-hmm.
to be present. So be present. If nothing else, you know, it's been said multiple times tonight. That's the thing, is to be present.
Yep.
Understand what's going on in the world around you
Yes.
and be present in it. So what do you think, Jason?
I think we're about done.
Almost. So, you know, across the 5 prophetic traditions that we explored tonight, which was a biblical, Hopi, Nostradamus, Mayan, and the Islamic, you know, we've had a tapestry of shared human concerns and cultural distinctions that emerge. You know, while the Bible and Islamic envision linear narratives of divine judgment and redemption, the Hopi and the Maya emphasize cyclical time, where destruction and renewal are woven into the very fabric of existence. Now, Nostradamus, by contrast, traffics in cryptic why can't I say this
Ambiguity.
this name? I can't say it. Ambiguity. I can see it. I know what it means. I can't say it. Ambiguity. See? Still can't. And I heard you say it. Now, his quatrains reflect the Renaissance anxieties, but still remain malleable enough to adapt to modern crises. Now, despite these structural differences, universal themes bind them. Warnings of environmental collapse, the Hopi, bitter rivers, and biblical plagues. Critics of moral decay, and the tension between despair and hope. Now, yet their solutions diverge. Abrahamic traditions hinge on divine intervention, while indigenous prophecies stress human responsibility to restore the balance. Nostradamus and the 2012 phenomenon, meanwhile, reveal how prophecies can be distorted and reduced to clickbait or Hollywood tropes, divorced from their ethical roots. Ultimately, these traditions are less about predicting the future than diagnosing the present. They mirror the values and vulnerabilities of their cultures. The Hopi's reverence for nature, Islam's emphasis on justice, Christianity's messianic hope. In an age of climatic crisis and geopolitical instability, their warnings feel urgent, challenging us to ask, are we heading these ancient lessons heeding these ancient legends, or repeating the cycles of hubris they condemn? Now, prophecy in the end is a testament to humanity's unyielding quest for meaning. A reminder that our fate is shaped not by stars or scriptures alone, but by the choices that we make today.
Yes. You know, you were talking about the 2012 thing and the clickbaity stuff.
Mhm.
We did that. We did a clickbaity 2012. You know.
So we were young in doing this back then. And clickbait wasn't even a term back then.
Yeah, we were we had
Yes.
people
Exactly.
only scared.
Oscars. We did, but when we did our show, though, at the end of the show, we said, look, it's not going to be the end of the world.
Right.
This is what the Mayans and everything are saying. This is the end of this cycle. This is the end of a Baktun. and change is going to happen. It's an end of this, the old, and the beginning of a new. It's kind of like pulling a death card.
Mhm.
You know, if you look at pulling a death card in any movie, it means you're about to die and all kinds of other things. But usually it doesn't mean that, you know. It usually means that the death of something,
Yeah.
you know, a way or whatever it is, and the rebirth of something new. Well, if you look at the Hopi and everything with their cyclical wording of the way that things are, exactly on the Oscars, history repeats. It's cyclical. It comes back. It's not just something that's linear.
Right.
And I think that if more people thought that way, we'd be better off. What you put off for tomorrow comes back again.
Mhm.
You know, so you go to war. Well, guess what? It's going to repeat. So it's best just to go ahead and put a stop to all that stuff.
Right.
Think better. You know, what do you think about people who predict the future? And I'm not talking about, like, we've had a bunch of people on the show that are psychic and stuff like that. And but what do you think about these kind of prophetic end of the world type scenarios when it comes to this stuff?
Well, I think you have to be very enlightened to be able to predict something like this,
Mhm.
whether it be from dreams, visions. I mean, I believe there used to be seers
Mhm.
that could predict what was going to happen.
Mhm.
And today's age, I don't know. It's kind of 50-50 for me. But in ancient times, I do think they had a better concept of predictions and they were more spiritual.
Yeah, I think it was more. Um, it was in the way that they did everything. Right, their livelihoods, their everything actually had some of that revolving in it. Right, so
Yeah.
they didn't separate the two as much as we do today.
I think it was a skill that they had, an ability
Mm-hmm.
given to them. Today, ability, I don't know about, but a lot of it's scientific today. A lot of the predictions are scientifically based.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they just had a common ability to do that was given to them. So 50-50 on today's predictions.
So when someone comes up and says they're predicting something, you're like, man,
You are crazy.
I don't know. I think that, these things can be hard because when you're talking about certain things like religion
Mhm.
and the way that they have their predictions and stuff about the future and about whatever, right? Whatever religion it is, not picking on any one religion or anything, but just whatever religion it is. You have people that are so vested in their outcomes, right? It's got to be this way, whether it's now or 50,000 years from now, this is going to happen,
Mhm.
right? They're so vested in that end time prophecy that you have some people in this world that are trying to do things to make those prophecies happen quicker.
Oh yeah.
And I've heard a few in the last couple of years where, and this is just, again, not picking on anybody in particular or anything, but I'm just saying just some of the things that I've heard in the last, few years. But you were supposedly in Israel and stuff, are supposed to have the red heifer that was born.
Mhm.
Well, those red heifers born here. And so people shipped them over to there to try to get that part of the prophecy.
Yeah.
And then they were talking about another thing was the rebuilding of Solomon's temple. Well, supposedly there's these pretty financially well off people that are supposedly trying to get Solomon's temple rebuilt.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to usher in this end times.
Yeah. That goes back to what we said earlier, when it has to happen first before it can be a prophecy, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you can read all the prophecies in the world and you could basically make it happen.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the astrological. But
when we was talking about a couple months ago or so, and we did the predictions, right? Like one of them was Trump coming down the escalator on when he first got right.
Yeah, on The Simpsons.
Now, did they predict it, or did he see it, or somebody in his cabinet see it and they go, dude, we've got to do this? And he's like, heck yeah.
Maybe, could be.
Which came first, chicken or the egg, right? I mean, for me, that was, to me, it's something that I could see happening, right?
Yeah.
Them saying, hey, let's
do it.
Do this. Let's do it just like this.
Yeah.
Because it's already written. Now let's make it happen. This is the ultimate meme. We already know what the outcome is, right? I don't know. I mean, and I'm not saying that I don't think that, or I think that predictions can't be true and things like that. I'm sure that there's people in this world that can make some pretty dang good predictions.
Yeah.
Short term. But I don't know if anybody has the answers on the end of everything.
Yeah. Nobody knows when it's going to happen.
No. If it happens.
If this is just a reoccurring cycle.
Yes.
It may seem like it's ending, but it'll rebirth.
Well, I mean, you look at, again, what we talked about tonight, the Hopi. They believe we're in the fourth age. And the cleansing of the fourth age will bring about the fifth age,
which is the age of
enlightenment,
which is
the age of light.
The age of light.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, you could interpret that however you want to, right? You could say that if it's the age of light, then we're all going to ascend into, our next form, which is going to be a light form or something, right?
Ascension seems so cool.
Yeah. That's Daniel Jackson.
Daniel Jackson and the ancients, they ascended.
Yeah.
Into light.
Yeah. Light beings. Yeah. And only Oscars was talking, about Star Trek, but the Next Generation, you had Q, part of the Q continuum. Mm-hmm. And they were pretty much that, right? They were light beings or just thought beings or whatever, but they could create bodies and come into this reality. So,
yep.
Yeah.
It's just like the replicators did on Stargate.
Right.
They created a body so they could,
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
That's what happens when you're a higher dimensional being.
Yeah. I want to thank everybody.
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Nope. You finish.
I just want to thank everybody for listening and listen to us ramble on and watching. But it's a pretty good message.
Yeah.
Don't always believe everything you hear or read.
Do not. Well, how's this? Don't put, all your eggs in one basket. Don't sit there, and especially with how high eggs are right now. It's okay to believe in these things, but don't make it so much like the Y2K bug and the year 2000.
Yeah, we
and
forgot about
things.
that, didn't we?
Yeah.
The Y2K.
Yeah. All these crazy things that had people being hysterical, selling their homes, moving out to the woods, doing just all kinds of crazy stuff.
Computers are going to crash. The
airplanes are going to fall out of the sky.
Missiles are going to launch.
Yeah,
because the computers don't know how to get past 2000.
Yeah, they can't put zero. 1999 is the end of it. And you know, trains
Prince,
are going to derail.
Prince had a prophecy.
Did he?
1999. Remember?
We're going to party like it's 1999. But that's it. That's the show.
I want to thank everybody.
Thanks everyone for tuning in, being part of tonight's show. We really appreciate you. Ready?
Oh yeah, that coffee's got me shaky.
Jittery?
Ready.
Two cups of coffee. Maybe we'll have to just do one next time.
My eyes are wide open.
Remember, you can find us at paranormal411.org, Paranormal 411 on Facebook, YouTube, and X, and Rumble. Remember, you can tune in live every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 10. Remember, also on Saturdays from 10 to 11, if you're in the metro Atlanta area, you catch us on WDJY-FM. That's 99.1 FM. For listeners outside of the metro Atlanta area, you can still listen to WDJYFM.com.
We're on right now.
We're on right now, this minute. And you could also listen on WDJYFM.com, or you go to paranormal411.org and click the link. Remember, we're on Subspace Radio and all podcast platforms. Book, East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore, second edition. Awesome book, East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore, edition 2. Available on Amazon or at paranormal411.org. Join us.
We'll see y'all Thursday.
Good night.
In the heart of Madisonville, Tennessee, lies a pizzeria like no other. Step through the door of Legends and Lore Pizzeria and be transported to a realm where paranormal and cryptid encounters, along with mouth-watering pizza, go hand in hand. Meet Eddie and his crew, who serve up slices of the supernatural along with the best pies in town. With the walls adorned with eerie artifacts, indulge in piping hot slices that melt in your mouth and tease your taste buds. And it's not just the locals who love the incredible pizza. Legends and Lore has been selected as the best pizza joint in all of Monroe County. As lovers of everything pizza and the paranormal, the owners have mastered the art of crafting unforgettable combinations that will leave you wanting more. To stay connected with this mystical eatery, follow Legends and Lore Pizzeria on Facebook, where tales of their latest creations and upcoming specials will be shared. Make sure to browse their custom menu, featuring legendary pizzas like the Chupacabra Ranch and the Exorcist. So, whether you have an appetite for the supernatural or simply seek the best pizza in town, Legends and Lore is the place to be. Come for the unforgettable flavors, stay for the captivating stories, and find yourself in a world where legends and pizza collide.
What if the world we know is merely a fraction of reality? What if there are forces, entities, and phenomena that exist just beyond our comprehension in the shadows of the unknown? Welcome to Paranormal 411, your gateway to the unexplained and the downright chilling.
Get ready to rock with the electrifying sound of Catalyst, a band that's sure to leave you wanting more. With their powerful lyrics and killer riffs, Catalyst is a great sound in the world of rock music. You can listen and find Catalyst on Bandcamp, or go to the link at paranormal411.org and click on their banner.